Okay, let's get a check your money first. The Dow and the S&P ending in record territory for the fourth day in a row. The Nasdaq finished up slightly. Let's begin with former Deputy National Security Advisor KT McFarland and top oil pro. He is Stephen Schork of the Schork Report. KT, let's talk about Kandahar and now Kabul possibly falling in Afghanistan. And this is the Taliban. This is a humanitarian crisis. What do you say?
Oh, look, I mean, Afghanistan is lost. It's been lost for years, and the Taliban was always going to prevail. They were always going to win because they knew they would just wait us out. I mean, tribal leaders told me that 15 years ago. So I think what you see going forward is that province after province, tribal leader after tribal leader will very quickly have a snowball effect, that nobody wants to be the last man standing supporting a government that is collapsing all around them. So they will all throw down their arms, take their American weapons, trade them for amnesty from the Taliban. And I think you'll see the Taliban in charge of Kabul within days. And the Chinese are already standing by. The Chinese have said they're going to recognize the Taliban government of Afghanistan the minute they take over Kabul, in a major slap to the face of the United States. And then on top of all of that, we now have just a chaotic frenzy to get Americans out. I don't know why we've got thousands of Americans there to start with, and now we're putting 3,000 more combat troops in who are going to end up having to shoot their way out. It's a disaster.
Well, yeah, it's a humanitarian crisis. 250,000 have been forced from their homes, 80% of women and children. Al-Qaeda, we're talking Al-Qaeda again. The 20th anniversary of 9/11 is just weeks away. And KT, it didn't age well that President Biden just said last month, it's, quote, unlikely the Taliban would overrun Afghanistan. Your final word on that.
48 hours ago, they were saying, well, it's going to take months. And then a day ago, they were even saying, well, it's going to, they're coming in right now. And now they're just in a flat out frantic frenzy to get Americans out of there. I think they're worried about hostage taking. They're worried they're going to have a fatality as the United States shoots its way out.
Oh, yeah, Obama's defense secretary, Robert Gates, he was pretty tough on Biden, said he's been wrong on nearly every major foreign policy issue for the last 4 decades. Stephen, your reaction to the White House asking OPEC, Russia, Iran drill more over there to lower gas prices here while discouraging drilling here. What do you say?
Liz, you just can't shame the shameless. To go back and now negotiate with despots to please lower oil prices because, by the way, we want to transition away from oil. So please keep oil prices low while we don't need you down a generation from now. So it's just another example of a White House that is untethered from reality. Again, this is a White House that took credit for saving Americans 16 cents on their 4th of July barbecue. So now that we're in a position that we've thrown away the greatest comparative advantage our economy has ever had, that is access to the cheapest energy sources in the world. We were the envy of Asia. We were the envy of Europe. That no longer exists at this point. So just to show you how far today's Democrats have turned, Liz, we go back to the 2012 DNC platform, Obama's second term. This president, that Democrat, embraced the oil and gas industry. They embraced production, exploration, consumption of natural gas. Why? Because the energy sector was the leading job provider coming out of the Great Recession. So the Obama administration rightfully recognized that this is a resource we should exploit and take advantage of. We've come a long way in 8 years. Today's Democrats are no longer willing to exploit the resources of America's energy industry. Right. We would rather negotiate with despots in Tehran, Moscow, and our friends in Riyadh.
Yeah, it's what Stephen is saying, KT, let's take that on. Oil and gas sales fund about half of Russia's government. That helps Russia's aggression in Ukraine, cyber attacks on critical infrastructure here. Iran's government is funded by huge reserves of oil and gas. They back terrorist groups that threaten U.S. allies. They send warships to communist Venezuela. What do you say about this?
Look, when the Trump administration left office, we had 4 big wins on energy. Number 1, we were energy independent. We didn't need the Middle East oil anymore. Number 2, we were bankrupting our adversaries, as you just pointed out, Russia, Iran, the countries that needed high oil prices in order to stay in business. Number 3, we were giving a great boost to American industry, American manufacturing, as well as direct jobs in American energy industry, in the fracking industry. And then finally, we were actually reducing greenhouse gas emissions because countries and companies and individuals were realizing it was cheaper to switch from dirty coal to clean oil and actually even to clean natural gas. It was a win on all accounts. And what did the Biden administration, they so hate Donald Trump and anything Donald Trump ever did. They said, well, we're going to undo all of that. So now here we are. Energy independent? Nope, not anymore. We're now dependent on the Middle East. American manufacturing? Nope, no longer competitive. Jobs in the American energy industry? Nope, don't have those either. Greenhouse gas emissions? Well, they're going to be a lot dirtier if that energy is coming out of the Middle East than it would be if it came out of the Keystone Pipeline.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Stephen Schork, White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki said a UN report says climate change is an urgent threat, but the U.S. can produce oil in cleaner, less polluting ways here versus OPEC overseas, where there's less regulation. I mean, we can build back better here with our oil industry. They're the cleanest and most efficient in the world. What do you say to that?
Oh, absolutely. The resources that we have here in the United States and to our neighbors to the north in Canada, we are the most efficient, cleanest producers of hydrocarbons in the world. And therefore, it's a responsibility on both countries, Canada and the United States, to exploit these resources and take it out of the hands of the Venezuelans, of the Iranians, of some of the lesser producers in West and East Africa. So to this point, the White House's stance is hypocrisy on stilts, Liz. We're talking about an administration where one of their first acts was to nix the Keystone XL pipeline, but now they've signed off on Vladimir Putin's Nord Stream 2 gas pipeline, which is now going to hold Europe into hostage because now the Russians are playing games, cutting back sale of gas going through the Ukraine into Europe. So once again, we've had this incredible comparative advantage. Yeah. We have completely given it away, and we are all going to pay a higher cost for both financially and the environment.
You know, Texas governor is saying, get out of the way, President Biden. We can do it better here, KT. And, you know, we have the University of Michigan Consumer Sentiment Index plummeting to the lowest in a decade because of fears over inflation. We know the rig count is up. U.S. rig counts are up more than double versus last year at the bottom of the pandemic. But, you know, people are really worried about this. They're worried about gas prices going up. 9 out of 10 are worried about inflation, according to the Fox News poll. And the president's approval rating on the economy is underwater now. Your final word.
Just wait. It's only going to get worse because we're going to get pushed around by foreign adversaries. The economy is going to be terrible. Unemployment is going to be very high. And we're going to give away all the advantages that we had even just 2 years ago. I don't think this guy gets reelected to anything.
Oh, on that happy note, just kidding. KT McFarland and Stephen Schork, it's good to have you on. We hope you have a good weekend. Come back soon, okay?
You too.
Maybe you'll be happier and cheerier
Thanks,
next time,
Liz.
KT. I'm just teasing.